It's sort of late springtime and really didn't have a video to put out this morning. I got stuff going on, just I didn't have one made, stuff ain't finished and all that. So I was going to make one about uh, yard chickens, people getting into it. When you do this, think about if you're doing it for egg production. I'm not talking about meat or anything like that, but egg production. Say you're wanting to get chickens to lay eggs. Well, how many birds do you want? Most people will say, oh, I want two or three birds, and then it turns into 6, 10, 12, whatever. It just happens. But thing to think about is how many eggs do you need per day? Um, if you need, say you're a small family of 4, everybody eats 2 eggs apiece or something like that. That's 8 eggs a day. Um, 7 days a week, you're eating a lot of eggs. But say you do, not that you're just eating scrambled eggs or boiled eggs or whatever. You need them scrambled, boiled, cooking with them, making pies and cakes and all that kind of stuff. Not just saying you're eating them for breakfast. But say you need 8 eggs a day. Well, if you do that and you only want like um, 8 or 10 birds, then something like the Isa Brown that lays an egg pretty much every day will work for you. Um, because chickens only are going to only lay about 600 eggs in their life. Well, Isa Brown will lay an egg almost every day. It'll lay like 6 eggs a week on for an average. I've had them lay 7 eggs a day. I meant a week, not a day. But say you're like me, or you're older or something like that, and it's just you and your wife, or you and your husband, or whatever, and you still don't want just 2, 3, 4 chickens, but you only need 2 or 3 eggs a day. Well, get you more of a heritage breed. You can get you some Cochins and stuff like that. They're only going to lay 2 or 3 eggs a week. What this does, they're still going to lay 600 eggs roughly in their life. Like a chicken is born and it has 600 eggs in it. And whenever it lays the 600 eggs, it's not going to lay any more eggs. Now, if it lays all 600 in the first 2 years, like a Isa Brown, they can lay 300 eggs a year or something like that. Well, 2 years, they're completely done. If you get something that's laying 2 or 3 eggs a week, it could lay eggs for 5, 6 years. Well, you don't have to keep new chickens. But what I would do, me, if I get more chickens, I'm going to get some more heritage type breed, get you some Rhode Island Reds, Barred Rocks, or something like that. I'm going to get me some breeds that lay 2 or 3 eggs a day, I mean a week. Maybe a little more, a little less. And I'm like everybody else. I'm not going to eat that many eggs. About one or probably 5 eggs a week is plenty for me. So I do that. Well, really, I could get away with just 2 or 3 chickens. But I have my mom and dad and some more people down there. But I don't want to overproduce. I done had Isa Browns and all, and I had like 15 chickens, and you just get so many eggs. Like, I couldn't give them away, couldn't sell them, and all that. And I was feeding them to the pigs and all. So, think of that. You know, I can get a breed that lays 2 or 3 eggs a week. I can get a few more birds, because, really me, I would only need 1 or 2 chickens to have all the eggs. I could possibly need more eggs than I would need in a week. I could probably supply me and my mom and dad that lives down the road. Sorry if I'm shaking, I'm just holding it by my hand. Um, 2 chickens would probably supply us with all the eggs we need. But I don't want 2 chickens. I'd want 4, 5, 6 chickens. So if I get those, get me some of those type, then I can have chickens, buy chickens every 3 years instead of every year. You get ISA Browns, you're gonna want to buy 4 or 5 birds this first year. I'm just saying if you're running eight chickens, you buy you 4 or 5 birds the first year, you buy you 4 or 5 birds the next year, and the next, and the next, and the next. Well, chicks now, they're not $2 or $3 anymore. Somebody told me at the local co-op or whatever over here, chicks are like $7 a piece or something. They're getting high. Well, if you buy a slower laying producer and they'll last you 3 or 4 years, well, $7 is good. Yes, I will say, when you buy chickens, you need to think about how they lay, when you need to replace them, and buy you some every year. Cause it's just sort of fun. Like if I got into chickens, I would buy a few new birds every year. I mean, it's just you know something I would do. But saying all that, like I'm going to, if I buy chickens, I'm going to get an original, not a hybrid. I'm gonna get an old stock where whenever they lay eggs, I can take the eggs and I can hatch them and get my next year's flock or whatever. And in saying that, I would probably still buy some or go. We have a chicken auction place down here. If I knew they was, or get in with somebody and I would go buy me a different rooster every 3 or 4 years or something like that. Let him fertilize the eggs, and then I can hatch them. Then, say I pay $10, $15 for a rooster every 3 or 4 years. That's not that bad. Hatch me out, I don't know. I could put the rooster in there today, and in 2 months, I would hatch out. I would start hatching out because he should fertilize all your hens. One rooster can fertilize like 10 hens pretty easy. So you get him, let him breed 5 to 10 hens. You keep him for 3 months. So you get them, you get your eggs, you hatch them. You wait 2 months after you get him, then you put them in your incubator. You put 15 eggs in there. That would take you, what, maybe a week to get all the eggs you need. Me, whenever I collect my eggs, I go ahead and put them in the incubator. Do that. You wait 21 days. If you got plenty of chicks, sell your rooster. When your chicks get big enough to start laying, when they start laying and laying consistent for you, get rid of your older flock if you want. Take them to the sale. Tell somebody. Give them away. Somebody that's thinking about getting into chickens. Be like, look, this is an old bird. This breed lays 2 to 3 eggs a week. She's slowed down. She's laying 1 or 2 eggs a week. You can take her and see if you like chickens and all that. Get rid of her, or you can just leave her there and let her lay until she dies. I had a lady I give some chickens to. She was an older lady. She's in her 80s, late 80s. And I give them some chickens, and she kept one of my chickens. I think I had Easter eggers or something. I think they said that hen died this year or last year, and it was like 10 years old, and it was still laying like 1 egg a week. But that's just how long some will lay, because they don't lay their whole 600 eggs out in 2 years. But think about that. Do you want birds that you have to go buy new chicks every year for, that are hybrids? You cannot take. You can take and hatch eggs, but I did ISA Browns that way, and whenever you hatch the eggs, that chicken does not look like an ice of brown. They liable to be white. They liable to be brown. They liable to be real tall. I don't. They look more like leghorns or something. A bigger leghorn. The ones that I hatched out. And most of the time, I got roosters whenever I was hatching them. And that's the other thing about when you hatch your eggs. Don't hatch and think, oh, I only need 5 chickens. I'm going to hatch 5 eggs. Well, at a home, 50% of them are not going to hatch. Just be ready for, if you get a 50% hatch rate, you're doing pretty good for a home hatcher. You may get more, you may get less. I've gotten 30% hatch rate. I've gotten 80% hatch rate. I don't think I've ever got over 80. But 50% will hatch, and of that, 50% will probably be roosters. I've had 75% roosters. So, you may have to keep your rooster 6 months or a year to get you enough hens and all. And when you get roosters, let them grow up. Whenever they hit about 15 weeks, you'll know. And keep them separated. Roosters will be okay in the same pen together as long as there's not a female in there. So they won't fight and kill each other. So if they get that old, put them in the crock pot, the roosters or whatever you want to do, sell them, trade them, so on and so forth. And you could get some money back if somebody wants them for breeding purposes. But if you get the hybrids, you're not getting the good qualities that the two breeds that they bred come in. It's a one hit and done, And if you want to do that, that's perfectly fine. Don't never raise any of your own birds. But I said if I got back into it, I was probably going to get a heritage breed, just a slow, common, all around, not great birds at anything, but good. Let them raise. If I had one go broody, let her hatch them. Whenever they hatch and start running around, go in, sweep up the chicks, put them in the other pen, and raise them up and then turn them loose. But that'll give you a thought on that. And I was just going to make a quick video on chickens. I've raised hundreds of chickens. I raised hundreds or thousands of quails and all that. I can tell you about quail on a video. If this one gets a good one, y'all let me know. And I'll make a video on how I used to raise and sell quail and all. But we'll see you on the next video. Y'all have a good one. If y'all like it, let me know. We'll see you on the next one.